every black person knows the name of every character on Friends. Most white people don't know the name of all the characters on Living Single.
Most white people don't even know Living Single existed.
Oh, and that it was the inspiration for Friends. Hey, Sam Sanders here. Thanks for checking out my show with KCRW. I'm going to speak to the elephant in the room right away. I'm losing my voice. So I wore a pretty sweater to distract you from my hoarse voice. But we're going to make this show, and it's going to be great. It is February, Black History Month, and this is an entertainment show, and I can do what I want. So for this episode, we are going to make a Black Mount Rushmore Hollywood edition. I don't think it's been done before. To do it, I've brought two amazing, hilarious panelists who are going to help me build this mountain together.
Oh boy.
I should not talk anymore right now. I'm going to let you both introduce yourselves.
Yeah, let's
Tell folks who you are and if you're up to this challenge.
My name is Garrick Bernard. I think I'm up for this challenge. I will put forth my first person being Macklemore.
That's
Hold
a
that.
good one. That is a good one.
All
I
right.
have a similar vibe, but
You're
I'm
coming
with you
in.
there.
You're coming in hot. You're coming in hot. Wow.
Really silly.
But I want to know a reason.
Oh,
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
First, introduce yourself.
My name is Yassir Lester. Hello. And I would say, first black celebrity on Mount Rushmore would be Thanos.
Yeah.
From-
Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop. I'm going to lay out some rules.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
In this episode, as we build our Black Mount Rushmore,
Uh-huh.
there are, now I say, a few rules.
Yes, okay.
They have to be real people,
Okay.
Okay.
not comic book characters.
All right.
Okay.
They have to be black.
They have to be black. Yeah.
Although
Have you
we'll
seen
have
Macklemore's lips?
Yeah. I think
There's a case.
Listen,
And
man.
three.
There's a case.
I think that there's a percentage in there, and if we're going by the 1% rule, Macklemore is at least 10% African American.
All right.
And he made it big. He made it big.
Okay, we're going to
Singing
get
about
to
thrift
it.
stores.
We,
I feel like
we'll talk more about him. But rule number 3 is
Yes.
they have to, in some part of their career, specifically done entertainment.
Okay,
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yes.
So, like, you
Yes.
can't put Michelle Obama up there.
Fair
We
enough.
love her, but...
Yeah, but she did not entertain.
All right, so I've laid out the rules for y'all.
yes.
They must be a real person.
Yes.
They must really be black.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they must have done something that counts as entertainment.
Okay.
Okay.
With those rules, as we
Okay.
build our Black Mount Rushmore,
Yes.
I want you both to offer your first submission. I have
Okay.
2 myself, but y'all can go
You
first.
have 2 yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because 1 in the alternate.
Unfortunately, Michael Jackson has to be on there. Michael Jackson
He doesn't have to be on there.
I know he doesn't have to be, but I feel like objectively, Mike Jackson is one of the greatest, if not top 2.
See, okay, I want to push back and say the safer pick and just as good of a pick
Yeah.
is Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. All right. enough.
Literally free of reproach.
Yep.
I'd argue more radio hits.
Mm.
I'd argue her career gave us more artistic iterations of who she is as an artist. I would say I would for sure put Janet Jackson on my Black Hollywood Mount Rushmore before Michael. I found her career more interesting.
Wow.
Okay,
I
but-
found her career more interesting.
But can I push back for
Yeah.
a second? Because Michael was up there for me as well. I'd argue that Janet, in terms of actual cultural monolithic driving what we know as entertainment, she doesn't come close. I think she's phenomenal. I love her, by the way. This is not in no way a dig, and I also don't think Janet reaches the heights that she does without not Michael as her brother, but without Michael as a touchstone, as something to strive for.
Yeah.
Like even her talking about Rhythm Nation when she was kind of coming up with concepts of what she was doing, she talks about how Michael helped guide the military version of.
But can I push back again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Every pop star of note
Yes.
who became ascendant in the 90s or after
Yes.
woman says, I wouldn't be here without Janet.
Jackson.
That is
Brittany
absolutely
says, there's no me without Janet.
Absolutely.
There's no Lemonade and that visual experience
Yes.
without Rhythm Nation.
Absolutely.
So I think when you compare Janet's legacy on other artists
Yes.
to Michael's legacy on other artists, because he was so out of this world,
Yeah.
no other male pop star could be like him. Whereas there's a generation of women pop stars shaped in Janet's image.
Right.
Do you feel like all of that influence then comes like branching from Michael Jackson because he influenced his sister so much?
I think Janet could have done everything she did without him. Because when you think about her career, the Jackson 5 had a residency in Vegas, and they would let Janet come on for a song or two when she was 7 years old.
Right.
She was the best part of the show, and you realize, oh, Janet Jackson was doing a Vegas lounge act at 7.
Yeah.
She didn't need Michael. I mean, he was there.
Yeah.
They got along. I think Scream was a great video.
Yeah.
She did not need Michael.
Right.
So Janet's my pick. I lost the plot. What was your pick? Michael.
Michael.
What's your first pick?
Okay. Now, I want to be clear about this.
Is it a human?
Are
they
it
black?
follows all the rules.
Okay.
It follows all the rules.
Okay.
But I want to be clear that it is not me endorsing someone, but it is who I think.
Y'all are really trying to get in trouble today.
Yeah.
Y'all are coming in hot.
No, it's not anyone super controversial. I'm saying for me personally, it's not someone that I endorse everything they've done, but I do think you cannot talk about Hollywood as an entity or Black Hollywood as an entity without mentioning Oprah Winfrey. I think when you look at every she is you know, you talk show, magazine. I mean, she's media. She's you think of her as an EGOT, even though she's not. You know what I'm saying?
That is fair.
That's true.
That is
you
fair.
know, like she is. You know, like whether the controversies of schools in Africa or Dr. Phil, she's responsible for Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. Like that is crazy to think about.
Pause. She also gave us Iyanla Van Zant.
Yes.
Who was just like. So how do you square that?
I genuinely didn't know what a billionaire was until Oprah became
you know
one.
What I'm saying? Like
I was like, oh, this is just a thing. You know numbers and all that stuff, but I thought that Oprah was the first billionaire. Period. Like there's no ifs ands buts about it. I was like, Oprah is the richest person in the world. On the planet.
Absolutely.
And so like that has to be.
She transcends. And you can. People will try to make the case in the opposite, but I'm gonna disagree. Like, there's no Martha Stewart without Oprah.
Pause.
Yeah. Okay.
Bold take.
Yes.
Defend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd actually be.
Okay.
I'd love to. So I think that if you don't have Oprah Winfrey, who by the time Martha, and this is me going off of I don't know every single thing about Martha Stewart,
Also,
but
the Martha Stewart documentary is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, and this is what I'm talking about.
On
Exactly.
Netflix.
This is exactly
It.
This is exactly what I want to talk about. So I don't think you get the normalization of a woman in your home talking to you every single day on a national platform, normalizing what I don't want to say what women do in their day-to-day, because Martha Stewart, the thing that she did is she in a weird way took America's perversion with what a housewife is and then made it capital. I think that's genius.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can get from A to B without Oprah in there every single day, kind of massaging the audience into what a woman feels like directing you in a very weird way.
Well, so much of what Oprah did when her show became Ascendant, she proved that a woman could launch and host a hit national talk show.
Yes.
Most talk shows, daytime or nighttime, before Oprah, were hosted by men.
Right.
And the thinking was that people at home only wanted to see men in that position of authority, because a talk show host is an authority.
That's exactly
She did change that.
Yeah.
Does that overcome for you Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Iyanla, and whatever's going on right now with the Ozempic stuff? Because it just feels like it feels a little dubious sometimes.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying is that to me, it's not an endorsement of. It's just a simple recognition of if you want to talk about people who have, Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Is a, you know what I mean? You think about
She also gave us him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just everything she touches now, whether you agree with it or not, has a gigantic cultural impact. And I think that when you look at her being the seed every single time, you kind of can't build this. You can't.
Right.
You know what?
I
Because
think
we don't get Obama without her.
Right.
So we've got Michael, possibly Janet to replace him.
Possibly.
Okay, yeah.
We've got Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I offer a pick for my Black Hollywood Mount Rushmore that isn't an option you'd think of first?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as soon as I explain it, you're going to understand that like the world of culture that we know today wouldn't exist without them.
Yeah.
I want to make the case for the Wayans. All of them.
I'm
of them.
actually with you 100%.
All of
Yes,
them.
I'm
all of them,
actually
every single one of them.
Can I explain?
Yes,
if
please.
the cliff face is just an amalgamation of all of their faces, yeah, absolutely.
With Damon Wayans Jr. in the center, he's so pretty.
Oh, he's a pretty boy.
Let him be in the middle.
But
all right, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the Wayans deserve this.
Okay.
So, just for In Living Color, that has set the tone for entertainment and pop culture since that show came about.
Yes.
So the last 30 years of pop culture live in the shadow
First Super
of
Bowl
In Living
halftime.
Color. Just for the halftime show alone. People may not know this. For decades, the Super Bowl didn't have a fancy halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
They would have marching bands. They would have ice skaters. Up With People, the teen nonprofit performing group, did the halftime show like 5 times. The Wayans family, with In Living Color, said, we can disrupt this. Let's just show In Living Color during the time of the halftime show. Now, for those who are too young to remember, In Living Color in the 90s was like SNL, but better and blacker.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us household names like Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx. J-Lo was one of the dancers on the show, but
Chris
the
Rock
show was massive.
left SNL to be on In Living Color.
Really?
In the last 2 seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
So in the early 90s, the Wayans, who were making this show, they said we could probably do an In Living Color special to compete with the Super Bowl halftime show and get more ratings. They got 20 million viewers for their counter programming. The next year, guess who the NFL had to do their halftime show?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So the modern halftime show as we know it was given to us by the Wayans family and In Living Color. And you don't get Kendrick Lamar making a flag out of Crips and Bloods or Serena Williams Crip dancing on Drake's grave without the Wayans.
Yeah.
Right.
Then even after that, we have the careers of Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, Rosie Perez, J-Lo, all kickstarted by In Living Color. And you'll remember, J-Lo becoming a cultural force changed the way we all look at women's bodies in the industry.
Yeah.
That comes back to In Living Color, which is the Wayans.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again, prettiest man in Hollywood, Damon Wayans Jr.
Softest soul, loves anime.
Loves anime.
You also get your David Allen Greers.
Yeah.
You don't get that without I mean, truly legend.
Well, yeah.
He was doing Broadway before he was doing Living Color.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also, which I don't think a lot of people realize, the first $100 million movie directed by a black person was Keenan Ivory Wayans, and it was Scary Movie 1. You also
which is the modern like Criterion.
Yes.
Criterion.
Put it in there. Put it in the loop.
You don't get. I mean, I'm gonna get
Put
you
it in the
sucker
loop.
change the way comedy is made cinematically.
Yes.
Like they are geniuses without peers. I genuinely believe. I believe Marlon Wayans, and I will go to the grave saying this, is one of this generation's greatest actors. I do put him on par with Jamie Foxx.
Wasn't
just
he
hasn't
Requiem
got-
for a Dream?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good in that.
He's
Also, put some
phenomenal.
respect on Kim Wayans' name.
She's incredible. The thing that I'll say about Kim that I really love is that like I don't want to say took herself out the game, but she's kind of just like she comes around when
She's
she
chill.
wants to, writes kids books and stuff. I'm just like when the matriarch passed away not too long ago. I want to say within the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And like me and Damon Jr. are friendly. We're friends.
Well, let me just stop. I'm gonna stop talking about him.
No. Please, I'm sure he'll call and be like, "Hey, can I come do the show?"
He sure can. He sure can.
Can I bring my dad?
Talking to him,
I would love to bring my pop.
but like talking to him, this is his grandmother, so you're just being loving and empathetic about someone losing someone close to them. But you're like, this woman transformed entertainment just by raising them all in New York and just like letting them be. That's like no one. I think that like against a Joe Jackson type. This is a woman who let her kids be and they became something. Right. She didn't. She did quite the opposite. And you're like, look, the same thing can happen.
I think those two things are really, really like strong arguments for the nature versus nurture. Just looking at you letting your kids be, and then all of them becoming the funniest people in America.
And none of them get into any drama. No. They're not fighting. Right. Just not clashing. Yeah. And there's no LaToya in the Wayans family. Exactly. There's no LaToya. It's just love.
There's no Tito. No.
Also, just real quick, Blank Man. One of the best comedic superhero parodies of all time.
Wow. Oh, man. All right, so what we're saying here is the entire Mount Rushmore is just Wayans.
It's just Wayans.
It's just Wayans.
Or you just like maybe you just have to carve in like the brownstone they all grew up in.
Or like just their last name.
Right. Big W.
Just Big W. Okay. Right. I thought Warner Brothers was owned by the Wayans. Like growing up, I thought it was the Wayans brothers.
You've had a hard life of education.
All right, so just to regroup. You thought Oprah was the first and only billionaire. Yes. You thought the WB stood for Wayans Brothers.
Yes.
Which is fair because they were on the WB network when it first launched. I get when the Wayans came out.
Yeah.
And so like I do like this worldview.
Right.
And so, I mean, I'm also watching this shit when I was like 6.
Right.
So I'm like, oh wow.
You had a very interesting, very black. Pop culture education.
Yeah.
So we all agree on the Wayans.
Yeah, all agree on the Wayans. They all
Oprah. We kind of agree on Michael versus Janet. We're still fancy.
We're still there.
But give me your alternate picks.
Maybe on there, it's the both of them. Like it's like half of their face.
It's just the Scream video.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. The Mount Rushmore is the two of them doing that break dance on the spaceship in the Scream video.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. We got it.
Yeah.
That song goes so hard. Anyway.
So
next
pick for
Black
me.
Mount Rushmore Hollywood Edition. Must be black.
Must be black.
Must be a real person.
Must be a real person.
Must have done some entertaining.
Okay, yes. This is someone that I genuinely don't feel like I would get starstruck by most people. This is someone who, if I were to see them, like just walking down the street, I would like drop groceries. I'd lose my mind.
Wait, really?
If I was driving, I would turn around and try to get a picture with them.
Really?
Queen Latifah.
I was going to stop. Wait, hold on. Can I show you? Hold on.
Queen Latifah has been a part of my life.
Queen Latifah.
Yes.
My pick too.
Queen Latifah is just, the fact that we still call her Queen is just... It's just a testament to how great your entire career has been. Living Single was such a huge part of just how I understood Black women as a whole. Because I have 20 female cousins,
right?
And they would all come over and just watch, Living Single. Yeah. Consistently all of the time. And so I just knew of Queen Latifah as a part of my life.
I think the list of her achievements is insane. She was the first woman to win a Grammy for rap. She won an Emmy for her TV work. She won a Golden Globe for her work in Chicago and was up for an Oscar for that. People forget her sitcom Living Single, which she was a star of, that was the inspiration for Friends. We wouldn't have had Friends
without
Queen Latifah.
Right.
We wouldn't have had Must See TV without Queen Latifah.
They killed Living Single so hard that in Friends they're like, okay, we don't need Black people in this show. You could just have Living. Just go watch Living Single if you want to do that. That was Friends. Coming off of Living Single is truly nuts.
And she's still working today. She has a show on CBS called The Equalizer. It gets 5 or 6 million viewers a week.
She
and scandal free. Name one Queen Latifah scandal. You can't.
I think she even because of I forget what I forget the acronym for it, but we get like the Hotep memes from
UNITY,
yes, the UNITY phase, and just the hat, like just putting that hat
Kufi.
on somebody, putting the kufi on somebody, just immediately just exemplifies blackness, and you're just like, okay, so this is the blackest person of all time.
Okay, we're aligned on Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Put her up there.
Yeah.
Your next pick, your alternate pick. Don't be controversial.
No, I'm not controversial. It's a hard split between the two that I want to say.
Okay.
So I don't want to do an alt of an alt. So I'll just tell you guys, like, it would be between. I want to say Will Smith, but I'm not going to.
I'm looking right at the camera to say I don't agree with this.
So the one that I'm going with is Smokey Robinson. He's the one that I would. Black music does not exist without Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
It genuinely does not. Motown does not exist, which gets you every other thing that has ever happened in pop culture without Smokey Robinson.
I'd say the real father of Motown is not Smokey Robinson, it's Stevie Wonder. And he pushed Motown outside of its comfort zone more than Smokey did.
But and we can go to war for this if you want. I'm saying that, like, without Smokey Robinson making Motown what it is, like, you don't even get like Boys to Men. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but like I hear you on Smokey, but then isn't like the guy who ran Motown was Berry Gordy? You say Smokey over Berry?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. And because I think you can't, and I say this for everything, by the way. Me and you talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
I will never respect the studio head more than the artist who made the studio head make the thing.
I would cheer and yell for you right now, but I can't.
Yes, and you should.
Yes.
But Smokey was always going to be Smokey. Berry Gordy is lucky to have had Smokey. Smokey would have made a Berry Gordy out of whoever he met.
We're going to close up our Mount Rushmore and figure out who's on there. It's 4 on there, right? 4?
Oh, we have...
In real, yes.
In real life.
Yes.
All right. We have to, like, have a playoff round for all these names that we've suggested. Because only 4 can make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to run through who we've listed.
I wanted to put one, because you said Smokey Robinson. I wanted to just put one up there who I feel like is more more beneficial to music as a whole. Ooh. Jimi Hendrix. I feel like he needs to be on that, because I don't think that I think that Jimi Hendrix, like, as far as guitar in music as a whole, like, literally shifted how people play that specific instrument.
But do you get? Sorry,
I don't think that you get a lot of shit without him. You don't get Nirvana.
You don't get Prince
him.
without him.
You don't get Prince without him.
But you could make the argument that, what's her name? Fannie Lou Hamer, famous.
No, that's she's something different.
No, she's a politician, right?
Yeah,
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yeah.
Who's
Rosetta Tharpe?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Rosetta Tharpe.
Yeah. You don't get Jimi Hendrix without Rosetta Tharpe. I mean, like, quite literally, like, playing with distortion and in ways that, like,
I get that, but I feel like there's also some stuff that he does, because he started off as, like, a rhythm guitarist. There's some stuff that he does, like, I'm a huge D'Angelo fan, and I love Voodoo, and I love that he, like, the way that he was, like, messing with, like, the quote unquote drunkenness of, like, the metronome on the drums and whatnot. Yeah. I don't think that you start playing around with different, like, off beats and on beats in music the same way without Jimi Hendrix not knowing musical theory for real and just kind of fucking around.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Anyway, sorry, but we don't have to put him up there. But I just wanted to, like, put that on there.
Final round.
Yeah.
We're giving 4 spots. Our picks were Michael Jackson or Janet Jackson, Oprah, Queen Latifah, all of the Wayans, Smokey Robinson. Who else?
Who was your?
Jimi Hendrix.
I feel like you were missing one.
I had Queen Latifah in the Wayans.
Right.
So of that 7, which 4 make it?
The only one that I'll defend for me is Oprah.
Yeah.
I just think
you'll defend Oprah.
I think that you can't.
Okay, like there's no Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'll probably defend, because we both have Queen Latifah. I'll probably defend Jimi Hendrix. To be honest, because, like, I do understand the Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson of it all, and I feel like we all tend to agree on that one, and I think that is a more obvious pick. But I think that like Black artists as a whole love to emulate Jimi Hendrix, and every time there is somebody who picks up a guitar that lightly looks or sounds like Jimi Hendrix, they're like, he's the next Jimi Hendrix, so on and so forth. I mean, Future's name being Hendrix.
Okay, Jesus,
very funny.
Wow, Future does not make the Mount Rushmore.
No.
Future has to pay child support first.
He does.
Like,
so
sorry.
maybe he
Future's
has to play
dead
a lot
in the
of
lake
LA.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the mountain.
All right, so here's our 4. I'm hearing from y'all.
Okay.
Oprah, Queen Latifah. I want to put a statue of Hendrix in the gift shop at the base of the mountain.
Okay.
And I want the last 2 spots of that 4 to be 2 of the Wayans.
2 of the Wayans. 2 of the Wayans.
2 of the Wayans.
Okay.
Damn. Which 2? Keenan.
I think you have to go
and-
Keenan and Damon. I personally, and I love all of them.
Okay.
Who do you think, though? Do you?
I want justice for Kim Wayans, so I'd put her up there. But no, Keenan and Damon. So Keenan, Damon, Oprah, Queen Latifah. Can we get behind that?
2 of the Wayans, though.
I was gonna.
All right, well then let's take one Wayans out.
Well, why don't we
Yeah.
just do the brownstone?
Yeah. Do the brownstone.
Wait,
of
how
the
about we
house.
do the Wayans' mom?
the mom?
She's one.
The matriarch.
Yeah.
we have one
yeah.
more spot.
Yeah.
I'd argue Janet.
I
You do
actually, I
Janet?
do.
Okay, you wanna
I
do
do. The more we've talked about it, it's just
Yeah.
like I like. The one thing that Michael never did is he never actually got into Hollywood, and
Yeah,
she
she
did
did
it
movies
with, and she
immediately.
did. She's a phenomenal
Yeah.
actress, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
She also is the reason we have YouTube.
Yeah.
After the nip slip,
Yes.
Yeah.
Google
Everybody
was
just
like, we need to
jumped on
create,
it.
and not
Yeah.
even Google, whoever it was, they made
2
it.
nerds.
Yeah,
You're like,
two
I wish I
guys.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I want to see.
All right, so our Mount Rushmore is Oprah. Who else? I keep
Oprah,
forgetting.
Janet, Queen
Oprah,
Latifah,
Janet, Queen Latifah.
and the Wayans' mom. All women.
All women. I think that is very telling as to where talent actually is. And
I would
comes
also
from.
argue it is what, and I could be wrong about this, but I have this conversation a lot. It also goes to show the importance of Black mothers on Black, like it's the first. You
Yeah.
know, people always think Black people always think God and their mom first. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know,
Because
no one's
it-
ever
because-
like my
because-
dad.
because-
Yeah.
They do it because they're the same person.
Oof. Yeah.
Let's take a
See?
break. I'm going to work
See?
on my voice. There's our Black Mount Rushmore. You're welcome. I want to talk about what it takes to get to a Black Mount Rushmore of Hollywood or any Mount Rushmore of Hollywood today, because it feels like the path that folks have to walk would be quite different than Smokey Robinson's path. But before that, I want to say thanks to everyone who got in the comments for our YouTube videos last week. I had a hot take that the Oscars shouldn't exist. I read those comments. I commented back. Comment some more. Also, if you have thoughts on our Black Mount Rushmore, hop in the comments. I'll talk to you there as well. But with that, when we think about what it might take for creatives to make some kind of entertainment Mount Rushmore today, do you think it's harder or easier than it was for Smokey, for Janet, for the Wayans, as 2 Black creatives in this industry?
I think it's easier to get discovered, but harder to maintain that discovery. In that you can like just kind of on your phone that most people have, create something that millions of people see, and you're just like, oh, I didn't even know I had this talent. But then you have to keep
You have to
doing
maintain your
it.
fame.
You have to maintain that fame, and you have to turn that fame into a lucrative business and brand. And that transition is a lot harder, because when you do get that initial like virality, it is not for pay. You know, you also still have to do a job. But
That's
in
the thing.
order-
It's like when the Jacksons got their first gigs,
Right.
even if they were small, they got paid.
they got paid. Yeah.
Like if a young Michael took off on TikTok today,
Yeah.
he's not getting paid for
Not
that.
getting paid.
Yeah.
I remember that one Netflix show about making a K-pop band.
Yeah.
The living situations of most of these girls who were big on TikTok for
Yeah.
like either rapping or dancing or whatever
Yeah.
or singing.
Yeah.
The living situations weren't great. you know,
they're in dorms, I'm guessing.
They were in dorms, essentially. They were like, one of them was like the main like benefactor for her entire family, like just paying for most of the things, and like they were living in like a studio apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment, and just like the 1-bedroom was just set up in a corner, or the 1-bedroom was just set up for her to like have like a studio space so that she can record TikToks.
Wow.
And so with all of that, like, sure, you can get paid off of like monetization or like advertising on those TikToks, but you're not getting paid enough to
really
where
sustain.
you feel like you're getting like a profit back and all of that. So like that, I think that transition between the two is tough.
Yeah. Same question for you. Easier or harder now?
I'm gonna choose a third one, and I actually don't think the idea of a Mount Rushmore exists anymore.
Oh God!
And here's
This is the take I like to hear. Okay, let's go.
Because I think that all the things that used to exist, well, milestones, markers, whatever you call them in your career, that used to exist to get you to a Mount Rushmore no longer exist by very nature of what you're saying.
Yes.
I think that virality as a concept still exists. I think fame still exists. I think talent, I think all of these things still exist. But what I think in terms of longevity and true, I know we used this earlier, but the idea of like a culture mover really existing, I don't think exists anymore, because we are all moving it at the same time with celebrities and with ourselves. Like, again, a 10-year-old person or a 10-year-old child anywhere can say, like, make some giant political stance, and now they've moved the needle in the same way that, a Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl can make a statement. So I don't think that like the idea that like we have our monoliths, the people that we look to and say like these for sure are like, I'm 40, and I would say my generation of just my generation and of stars of my generation might very well be the last real ones. Like, you still have stars. Like, to say Timothée Chalamet is not a star is crazy. We know he is. To say Michael B. Jordan is not,
But when we were kids, we'd have 12 Chalamets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was just them.
And not only did you have 12 Chalamets, but you thought what they said was interesting or cool, or if you went the opposite way, like even like in terms of like what punk is, right? Like punk is born out of everything that is countercultural, hippies, all that stuff. But we are now all experiencing all aspects of culture simultaneously, and we all have access to each other's.
Well, this is the thing.
I
tell people all the time, it is the dancing weatherman phenomenon.
Yeah.
That is it.
There are weathermen in cities I don't live in who I follow on TikTok. And I don't follow them for the weather forecast. I follow to watch them dance.
Yeah.
They're celebrities.
That's
celebrities.
exactly that is the funniest distillation of it, or distilling of it, but that is exactly what I'm talking about. We're like, we have homogenized everything in a way that
can do it all now.
Yes,
everyone can do it all now.
Yeah,
and so like
the dude that the weatherman that does lyrics in his weather reports. I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's cool that he's finding ways to mix this into the weather.
Right.
Oh, but that also sucks that it's going to be 68 degrees in, I guess, Cincinnati?
Right,
this isn't even my weather.
Right,
Oh.
And also, it's like you have that dancing weatherman competing for your attention on the same platform. Pop stars are doing the same thing.
Yes.
So I think that like there's been this, and it's for sure smartphone induced, but definitely video induced. The barrier between who is a celebrity and who was not a celebrity no longer exists.
No.
We are all now just existing on varying grades of celebrity.
Yes.
And so when you have that as a reality, it changes the formulation of who is the biggest star and how they get up on that Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Because now, every other day, I'll be on TikTok looking at God knows what, and then I find someone who has 4 million followers for making reaction videos to bad recipes. And I'm like, They are a celebrity.
But see, that's exactly my point, is that if you use Mount Rushmore as quite literally the metaphor for this, and that their face is carved into a mountain, we're at a point where we are just standing on a pile of rubble because you're carving a new face in every single moment.
Every day.
Every moment. Now it's just like who gets to stand on top of the sand
for like a day.
Yes, your Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame. So I think that there are things that you can do to maintain longevity, and I think weirdly it goes to your Dancing Weatherman thing in that truly focusing on a thing will always, whether it financially feeds you, I don't know, but culturally I think the people who stick to a thing and are good at that thing, it's the same case I make for like AI and like, look, you can type in like, mouse skateboarding on AI and it'll make that picture. Someone drawing that will always be more impressive. What we're talking about is time, right? And
effort.
With effort. Seeing a basketball player shoot a 3-pointer and making it versus a robot launching, like we don't care. We don't care. And so I think that like culturally, like again, if you follow the same person on TikTok, like I follow a lot of visual artists on TikTok. And like still seeing someone, though it's a time lapse, paint a thing, you're like, that's incredible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so like, if the weatherman, I think the thing that impresses us is that you're like, whoa, he has 2 talents. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. He can read the weather
and he can dance.
3. He's handsome, probably, because you have to be in order to be a weatherman.
It's always like this like white weatherman in the South who has a black barber and black friends.
I was gonna say they always have the fade. They always have the white guy fade.
They have like the little line on the side.
But here's the thing, though. Like as much as we talk about how a place like TikTok can give excellence from the dancing weatherman or whoever, I also find that sometimes the things that I love the most on TikTok are people performing badly and doing badly on purpose.
Yes.
I watch endless videos of people making bad food. Bad food. And so that also changes a Rushmore. That also changes the calculation for like how to think of fame and celebrity because like we're in a world now where a lot of people get famous for doing dumb stuff.
Right.
And they can make just as money as someone doing smart stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
but I guess was that always the case? I don't know.
What you're saying to me has always been interesting in the sense that like we always had a divider between those two things, right? Someone singing well and someone singing poorly, right? Someone singing well would be, for the sake of argument, American Idol. And then someone singing poorly would be on America's Funniest Home Videos. But they never on each show would have them all together and be like, these are all equally talented people.
Right.
And all of our scrolls do that.
Exactly. Which is what the internet is. It says everything is of value of the exact same amount. And it's kind of why they created algorithms in a weird way to be like, not to necessarily showcase people who were better at something, but they're like, hey, at least you like this thing. So we're just going to show you more of that.
Yeah.
But like, anyway, sorry, I didn't even cut you off.
No, but I on what Sam was talking about like people doing stuff badly. I think that not in the same way that we're looking at the weatherman, not because he's doing these things, but because he has a different talent that we're like just now noticing. With people doing these things badly, it's also the endearing nature of it, where it's just like, wow, this is actually very human. And I think that that's what's going to push against like AI and whatnot in general, or like watching people like watching a robot shoot a 3-pointer because you're like, yeah, but I don't think you really failed at this. I think a bunch of people failed at this in order to create you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're doing this perfectly because you have the mind of a mathematician. And I feel like in the same way with streamers now, like Kai Cenat, I think that dude is so popular and also so like nice to watch because this is somebody who is just like kind of just bad at this, like just kind of like failing at a lot of stuff, and you're just watching him get super frustrated and super annoyed by playing this game that is really hard or whatever, or just having a sleepover with people that he shouldn't be having a sleepover with, and like trying to corral them, and trying to like deal, and like I think that it's cool to watch somebody just fail and like be a kind of a good host but a bad host and not know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I love this conversation because it's like the reality of it is that you cannot make a Mount Rushmore again.
Oh,
making a Mount Rushmore for Hollywood, for Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a certain moment in time, a certain moment of monoculture.
Yeah.
So to close all this up, I want to extend a metaphor that you introduced. You were like, well, if there's no Mount Rushmore, what is it? Is it a pile of sand?
Yeah.
Is it a revolving door? What is it now?
So I think it's the human experience. I think it's humanity. I think it's
That's a big answer.
It is a big. It is a huge annoying. And I apologize for it, but I do think that because everybody is getting their 5 minutes of fame, or I always mess around with the idea of if everybody is immortal, that means technically we all get to be president at some point in time.
Right.
So if everybody is contributing to pop culture at all times and we can all see everyone's contribution, that means that 5 minutes of fame it truly exists for everyone. You can always get to that point of just being like, oh, now I get to stand on my soapbox and say something. And I think that's weirdly nice and only annoying because everybody wants to be special for as long as humanly possible. But because we all have this computer in our phones, everybody gets to be special. And then that whole adage is if everyone's special, then no one is.
But see, this is where I disagree with
Okay.
you. Say more. Right. Say more.
Okay. Because, and this is, I believe this in my heart and in my soul.
Yeah.
Talent still has to exist. Right?
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Look at, and bleep this in post.
No, but that's not what I'm talking about. What you're talking about is someone being celebrated who is untalented. Talent as a concept still exists.
Okay.
Yeah. There are still talented musicians. There are still talented writers, whatever you want, whatever. So the thing that brings me the most, I would say, sense of calm, because I do feel like this is probably the most turbulent time in all of our careers.
As we're all
seeing
what'll happen.
Yes. The thing that we can always anchor ourselves in, and I mean this for anyone, artist, whatever, is that you put in an amount of time that will always pay off at some point.
Yeah.
At some point, your talent, your knowledge, the amount of work that you put in will override someone who's been doing it for 5 minutes. Now, the fact is that someone will get 5 minutes.
That's what
they should not have.
Yes.
But I believe in my heart, a Sam, a Garrick will get that person who's on the soapbox off again
for a long
because
time.
You will always have something new to contribute because you have entrenched yourself in the field in which that you care about. So someone can, a dancing Leatherman, whatever.
Yeah.
You learned one dance, great.
Yeah.
Someone who's been dancing their whole life, they'll keep getting back on that box because they have a new dance, they have a new talent, they have a new whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what So I think to what the metaphor that you introduced, I think it's a revolving door. I think there's I think you come through the lobby, through that door, you get to stand there and do your thing. Someone comes in behind you, but it's not now. It's not carving your face in Mount Rushmore. I genuinely believe it's how many times do you get to come through that door?
How many times do you get to go down the Jennifer Hudson show Soul Train line?
Yes.
But a little bit.
Which gives me anxiety.
It does.
Oh my God. It's just you turn the corner, it's a bunch of people looking at you and they say, dance, dance.
I like this. I like our Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
All Black women.
Yep.
I like where our conversation led us to what happens post Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
I think y'all are smart and fun. I enjoyed this conversation.
Look at us.
What better way to honor Black History Month? To close out this episode, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
It is Black History Month, which we're celebrating on this show, this episode. If y'all were in charge of Black History Month and you could make one rule for the month, what would your rule be?
I would actually do away with pumpkin pie and only sweet potato pie would be available everywhere.
Wow.
I would wipe it off.
You're right.
Because the colors are too similar.
Also,
and if I bite into pumpkin pie thinking it's sweet potato pie.
You're biting into a nutmeg
it's like
thing.
Ew,
I hate it. I hate it.
I can guarantee you there are some viewers and listeners at home who are yelling right now.
Pumpkin pie.
Y'all don't know yet. Trust us. Come over to this side. It's better with sweet potato pie. Listen to me. I'm right. He's right. All right. I like that rule. What's your rule? Black History Month, new rule.
So because of this, like, overarching in Black entertainment, trying to get an audience, an American audience, and an American audience that is not just like, okay, so that's Black, so that's for them. I don't have to watch or pay attention to it. And so when you're writing or doing anything, you have to like kind of broaden it on a scale for quote unquote America. During Black History Month, every white or non-Black person has to hang out with or be entrenched in like either a barbershop or like Black culture in general, because
you're giving labor to Black people.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving labor to Black people. I just mean there is something extremely annoying about me as a Black person having to know every like white celebrity or everything about technical
to take it back to
whiteness.
Friends. Every Black person knows the name of every character on Friends. Most white people don't know the name of all the characters on Living Single.
Most white people don't even know Living Single existed.
And that it was the inspiration for Friends.
I am just like aggressively annoyed at the fact that if I am saying references, I have to qualify them with being like, oh yeah, this is, our reference. Is just like, oh, okay, cool. And I don't want to be looked at as like an idiot because I am saying this thing and I don't know every line to like American Beauty, let's say, or
hold on, great movie,
great movie, yeah, sure, great movie, but
Alan Ball's from my hometown. Let's relax.
But has Alan Ball seen like Belly or some shit like that?
Yes.
No, he has not. No,
everyone's seen Belly.
That's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true.
Everyone's seen Belly.
All right, so the work here is everyone hearing this episode, watching this episode, your homework after this episode is to go watch Living Single and Belly.
Yeah.
Can I say the trap of yours a little bit?
Okay, there is a trap. There's always a trap. Yeah.
The trap of yours is that also when like white people do come around and like, I want to learn, we're like, get out of here.
Get out of here. Leave.
Yeah.
Leave. Yeah. It'll take a couple
Which
years.
Is not fair.
It'll take a year. It'll take a couple years.
If you send people to school, someone has to be the teacher.
Yeah. That is fair.
Wow.
That's it. Here's my Black History Month rule. If I were in charge of Black History Month, I would have one rule only, especially for LA. If there is a traffic situation, and somebody listen,
that's great. That
there
is
is
good.
a traffic situation, and someone has to get the right of way.
Yeah.
In February, the Black person gets the right of way.
Yeah, it's a Black.
I may never get 40 acres and a mule, but I will get on the 405 first.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. How would they tell that this is a Black car coming? Would you put like
I held up my membership card?
Just like a little sign outside.
Okay, we have like one of those flags in the window, like the Lakers win. I mean, that feels terrible too. Like Black person coming.
Right.
Can I tell you about the secret?
Yeah.
You both are on my personal Sam Sanders show, Mount Rushmore. Because listen, when you saw only one set of footprints, y'all carried me. I was struggling today. So thank you both for making a fun show in spite of this crack voice. Oh my God.
I appreciate y'all. This is, my wife Chelsea Devonta, shout out, has been on the show before, and it is my first time as a guest, and she said it was going to be one of the best times I ever had, and I mean it sincerely because I watch online and blah blah blah, but. This is what I'm talking about with this 5 minutes on the soapbox. You will Sam will always come back to the top of the soapbox.
Yes, very good interviewer.
You are so good at what you do. It's important to know that.
Yeah, there is.
I already did the compliment.
No, I would also like to add on to it. There's a talent to being someone.
White people to look at Black people and their natural habitat.
I just want them to be in a barbershop one time.
You want white people to look at us
28 days.
We are in a cage.
28 days, I want them to be in there, and they have to sweep up the nappy hair.
See, okay, you didn't add, if you add work to what they have to do, I like that.
You have to, like, after school, you just gotta be in there.
Go work at a black. You gotta work at a black job.
No, the Black History Month assignment is you have to go hang out at a black barbershop and learn all of the lines and characters from the Coming to America barbershop scenes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Praxis.
I like
Praxis.
that.
It's just because you absorb critical race theory more if you have been in a black barbershop.
Where I would argue that
you care more.
I would argue if you're a white person, you have to go to a black barbershop and then get in an argument with one of the barbers and not die.
And not cry or die. They're mean.
I'm a black man, and I've never argued with a black barber.
No, absolutely not.
They've said, by the way, black barbers have said things to me that I'm like, you're actually insulting me in my personal life.
And I gotta pay you.
Yeah, no doubt. I was like, you know what? Yeah. Light-skinned people are cursed.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like nodding my head, right, cut me up. Yeah. I hate light-skinned people. Yeah, they suck.
Right.
All right. Tell all the black barbers where to find you. Say your names again and where to find you.
Garrick Bernard. I'm at Garrick Bernard on all the accounts.
Yeah. Same, Yassir Lester, but it's YASSIR _Lester on all accounts. I like a space. I just like seeing a little space.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for checking out the show. Please send cough drops. I'll see you next week.